Big moment, big day, beautiful atmosphere, amazing people out there. It's indeed another great time again on your TV to talk everything sports, but basically top stories will come. Thank you so much for being here with us. Good morning. This is the Sports Republic Show on Voice of the People TV. Yes, I am your host. My name is Kizike. Today's talk will really be delicate and worth talking about. Come with me as we kick off together. While we are saying some things are not right, some people, I'm not going to, that's the word I'll use. Some people are saying we are not saying it right, just maybe. Now, the first story I have here to give you today is the part where we have this one like an acknowledgement. The Inspector General of Police, Dr. Olukayode Egbetokun, on Wednesday have come to heap praise on the leadership of the Nigerian Football Federation for their palpable dedication and commitment to the cause of football development in Nigeria. He noted that football is a game that unites all Nigerians across all known physical, mental, and economic boundaries. True or false? That's true. Now, speaking during the courtesy visit by a team of the NFF chieftains led by President Alhaji Ibrahim Musukuzo, Ekpetokun admitted that crime rate does decline around the country whenever any national team or club of choice football adherent on duty. That's no problem. We know that. But aside that, Ekpetokun, talk about the inspector of police, let me quote him on the show. I like to quote him now. The man you have on your screen with Ibrahim Musukuzo. He said, the Nigerian police force recognizes and appreciates the potential of football to work wonders for national unity, social cohesion, and economic growth. In truth, football has the capacity to take criminals away from the street. It's no gainsaying that we record lower incidences of crime when football teams are doing their business. True or false? That's true. No problem. Now, he said, we promise to continue to support you to develop the game in our country to an excellent level as we look forward to do more robust relationship with your organization. Now, earlier, the NFF president commended the Inspector General for swiftness of all times in deploying officers, men, and materials to venues, better word, of football matches in the country for the low card rates of the league and international levels. But the NFF president said, let me quote him, we are here because we appreciate the importance of security in our activities, program, and events. This is to physically express our deep appreciation for the job we have been doing in readily sending officers, men, and materials to secure the venues of football matches in the country. Your officers and men have been doing excellent work for us. Okay, he went as far as saying our country is one of the football passionate citizens. Everybody knows, so they know. He also went as far as saying we also plead with the Inspector General to revive the police football team that was very strong in those days, and also to consider giving a special quota to sportsmen and women who want to enlist in the police force. Now, Guzal, thereafter, informed the Inspector General that the world governing body, FIFA, will soon dispatch to its members association a new template for securing football venues, and that the NFF will need to provide special training in that regard to officers and men of the force who are dedicated to providing security at match venues. Now, present at the occasion, so you know there are big names, were top echelons of the Nigerian the Nigerian police force, that's the word, sorry, including 4 deputy inspector generals, as well as the NFF first vice president, Chief Felix Ayansi Agu, NFF second vice president, Honorable Benga Elegbeleye, chairman of the technical committee, Alhaji Sharif Rabiu Inoa, then general secretary, we also have Dr. Mohammed Sanusi, director of communications, Ademola Olajire, director of competitions, Ruth David, head of security, Barnabas Joro, AD protocol, Emmanuel Ayabumi, and then Abubakar Bade, the special assistant to the NFF president. Now, I have with me in the studio Charles, so we can talk about this. The truth of the matter is, I have to bring this story. I have to unleash it. I have to give it. It's a nice content, right? It's worth talking about. But I'm not a fan of the story. Do you understand it? I might be sounding this way because when I saw this, I wonder why people are getting praise. I'm just saying, with no disrespect to the inspector of police. No disrespect, please. With all due respect. But I'm just saying this. I wonder how people get praises for what they are doing when they are not doing it right. I can say, and I want to say again, not just football, sports generally, the Super Eagles is the biggest brand in the world of sport in Nigeria. Take it. You can bring the banter on. We can talk about it. There's basketball, badminton, tennis, all of the sports. Good one in Nigeria. Are we doing well? We used to be good before, formerly. But as it stands out now, I must tell you, the Super Eagles is the biggest brand. And in the course of the show, I will talk about something that has to do with the football business. And I mean, there's a story about our president, with all due respect, also bring it here, the promises he's made to football and developmental issues. But let me keep that aside. Let's delve on this. Let's talk about this. How does people get praise or praises for doing something that, for me, my opinion, my humble opinion, that I feel and I know, and I can still be quoted, that they're not doing right? We don't have a Super Eagles coach like the biggest brand, the Super Eagles. Super Eagles, after Super Eagles, you can start talking about Super Falcons, maybe, big champions. These super people now don't have a coach. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? There's no coach. And what have the NFF people done to deserve this praise? When you have talks like this, you don't want to come on TV to talk about it alone. And that was the more reason why I had to say, Charles, you must come today. Let's talk about this. But I must beg Charles on the show. I like to beg him to be civil, because I know he's not a fan of the NFF, not because he does not like the football world, but because after all is said and done, more is said and done. Charles, good morning. Great to have you. Let's talk.
Yeah, Kizzy, good morning. Welcome. I'm glad to be here at the Republic.
I'm also happy to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
You've heard me say it. When I told you the top stories of what we're talking about, you were telling me, I said, calm down.
No. First of all, this is the reason about this right now. It's like a smoke screen. You know, like you're supposed to be doing something, and you're not doing that. So you're majoring in the minors, and you're minoring in the majors. Like you're giving attention to things that normally should not even make headlines. Going to meet the police force, very brilliant idea. It's not a bad idea. I mean, they provide us security in our stadiums, make our stadiums safe for match games and the likes. You know, security for our players, referees, and every other person that comes to watch our games. However, you are this kind of things are just like smoke screens. There is something the NFF is supposed to be doing at this moment, fixing your house, putting your house in order, giving some kind of structure and organization to the NFF and to your one of your biggest brands, that's the Super Eagles. We don't have a coach. We're still dilly-dallying about the coach. We have qualifiers in a couple of weeks, you know, and October is just here.
Right.
By next week we'll be in October. So there's nothing about that, you know. So I just feel like he's majoring on the minor things and minoring on the major things, and this is just like a smoke screen, really not, as it were, doing the business.
Charles,
but giving praise to him, giving praise to the NFF for doing their job or whatever, I think it's imperative, because even if a blind man or a deaf man was to hear the gist about the NFF, I don't think he will hear praise.
Charles, let's talk about this quickly again. Yes. I said I'm not a fan of this story, but I want to ask you this question. This set of NFF people that we have, I'm trying to find the right word so I don't sound nasty. Would you rate them, if you want to rate over 100, the time span they've been in the job, the duration, the time, looking at the way they've been, like often time? Charles, can you rate over 100? Let me hear from you first.
Over 100, they'll get like 20 over 100.
That's a fail. That's a failure.
Like, it's clear. It's visible to the blind, audible to the deaf. I mean,
before we talk, let's even go this. Before we talk about the next one, because there's a call up about the Super Eagles story, Eguava, and the rest of that. Let's quickly even say this. Transparency is key.
Definitely. I
like to say it all the time. When I say it, sounds like I'm just talking about it. These people literally forgot that they are governing over 200 million people. Now, when you hear me say that, I said a word. I said something that has to do with football unites the world. Inspector General also said so. He said so, yes.
Yeah, he does.
It unites the world. Now, let's bring it back to the nation. Everybody's feeling the heat. Nobody would say, I was on the street. People saw me when they do end bad governance. I was on the street as well. And someone like Kizzy, why are you here? Why you see? With this studio, they talk and let me say our own, don't mix and don't lecture like that. See, let's say it the way it needs to be. Transparency is key. Definitely. You told us, they told us that Iguavon would be on this job for 2 matches.
Yeah.
That's the word we heard.
Yeah.
And now, no, see, you see the way the people are not being carried along.
Yeah.
We've not seen them come to say Iguavon will take over. Iguavon is just there. And I have not seen, since I've been on this job, sports world, to talk about this. I have never seen where a technical director of a nation in sports see, I've not seen, first of all, I've not seen a switch. I've never seen a switch.
Yeah.
One. Secondly, I've not seen where the technical director of football, of sports, is in a job that he's not meant to be for a longer time.
Yeah.
And someone is giving these people praise.
Well, I really want to choose my words carefully.
No, I know, I understand.
Because it leaves a sour taste in the mouth every time you talk about the NFF. Because leadership as the NFF in leadership, they've been so poor, like really, really very poor. You're not doing the right things. The optics are very wrong. The calls that they make, very shabby calls, very cold feet in making decisions.
Okay.
They just develop cold feet in making decisions.
They've gotten the flowers on that part, no problem. Let's talk about the next one now. AFCON qualifiers. Iguavon said to call up 5 new players as Super Eagles squad list emerges. Now, we want to know, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are gearing up to lock horns with Libya in the upcoming African Cup of Nations qualifying series. The Nigerian team is managed by interim manager Augustine Iguavon, who has reportedly compiled a squad list feature for this very one coming up. Now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are set to continue their quest for a place in the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON with an upcoming clash against Libya, still without a permanent head coach. The Nigerian team is currently under the guidance of interim manager Augustine Iguavon. Iguavon's tenure has been marked by a series of positive results, fueling growing calls for him to be appointed as the team permanent manager. As the October fixture draws near, discussion have centered around the players the 59-year-old manager might select. Now, especially given his evident desire to consistently strengthen the squad at his disposal, amid the speculation, a squad list compiled by Iguavon has surfaced, reportedly featuring as many as 5 new additions for the Libya match. According to reports, the initial squad list being drafted by coach Iguavon includes 5 new players who were not part of the previous international fixture. Now, the result also and the report details that the interim coach has called Sevilla new forward Chidera Ejuke alongside with the defensive throw of Kenneth Omerua, Bright Osai Samuel, and then Jamil Collins. It also highlights a call for versatile Getafe star Christopher Uche. Crisantos Uche, that's the name. Now, additionally, the report concludes by stating that invitations will soon be sent to club sides of these players who have been included in the final team list. We have the game October 11, Nigeria here at Gospel Akpabio Stadium. And then later, we travel to Tripoli some days later and play that game. Charles, I'd like to ask you this question in simple terms. What should be the criteria for selection of players?
Oh, Kizzy, honestly, I'm lost for words whenever I'm asked this kind of questions because initially when we talked about Bruno Labbadia, all of a sudden the next day a 40-man list was churned out that this was a list of players, and we asked the question: who gave that list? Was it Bruno Labbadia's list, or was it Iguavon or the NFF? Who gave that list out? So the same thing. I'm not going to be surprised by the list of names you find in the list, the names you find on the list. 5 new players, fantastic, fine. But the goal is this, and the aims are this, very simple. We need to get to the African Cup of Nations, and we need to win it. But we can't have a technical director as a coach, doing the job of a coach for this long. Just shows that the NFF is lazy and incompetent.
Okay, this is the big of them all. It's going to sound like just like analysis, but this is the big of them all. President Tinubu's promise to Nigerian football. I'll bring it. I'll talk about it, right? I'll talk about it. Now, when President Tinubu hosted the Super Eagles in March 2024, please let's follow the story. Following their AFCON 23 final loss, he pledged to reform the sport, recognizing that Nigerian football desperately needs saving. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hosted the Super Eagles in March, following the AFCON 23 final loss to Cote d'Ivoire, he repeated the usual promise by political leaders to reform Nigerian football, recognizing it as a national treasure. Now, I tell you this, during the match reception for the Super Eagles, President Tinubu promised to overhaul Nigerian football. They need to fulfill that promise, and then I must tell you that is more critical than ever. Now, let's talk about one part that we don't see. I feel like we are blind in this. Football as a business. This is like an analysis I will bring to you. Now, the MPFL can become Africa's best, despite its grim reality of today. Let me also let you know, did you know that the English Premier League, for instance, recently signed a broadcast deal that's around £6.7 billion, demonstrating how media rights and sponsorship can transform a league. Nigerian football lacks this kind of world-class production, distribution, and commercialization. Nigerian football needs global media partners, airline deals to ease teams, travel and sponsorship deals to address logistical and financial challenges. I'll tell you more. What are the ways out of this problem in Nigerian football? Let's talk about valid points on how Nigerian clubs can increase their visibility and value through international marketing. Maybe I would value through international marketing. Maybe I would have had Frank or Fagbo talk about business part. Now, the NFF needs to work hand in hand with the Nigerian Football League through publicity and marketing. I recall one of the days I was seeing one of my shows on YouTube, and I saw someone posting something that said, Kizike, you should use your platform to do this. But I understand that. That's the media. The media plays a key role. That's why you see the English people, they hype themselves a lot. It doesn't sound like Harry Kane will not be scoring goals. They'll just be on the low. But Mary Rashford just scored like 5 goals. You go see us everywhere with your boss. 2 seconds, they reach again. It go make sense. That's the hype of the publicity. Now, the Nigerian Super Eagles social media handles are followed by millions worldwide. But the nation, talk about local league, does not capitalize on its influence. Meanwhile, in other nations, the FA developed leagues. Now, let me tell you again that the Super Eagles handle needs to be retweeting posts. I should be paid for this job, sincerely. I should be paid for this job. The Super Eagles handle needs to be retweeting posts and making content about the Nigerian League. Posts and making content about the Nigerian League to throw some light on it and get foreigners investing in their project, or in our project, that's the word. Investments mean more money and ability to retain your best players. Let's say it right. Mo no bend down like one way. Road bend, not me say you go bend waka put at the talk normally. Mo just talk as just be. Which, Charles, with the way, I'll come back to this story now. With the way everything is going at this point, which firm, with the way the structure of Nigerian football looks, the league is lacking sponsorship deals. I mean, 150 million naira now here for the MPFL, no doubt. Last was 100 million. Then Rangers took it. This time around, we are waiting to know, yes, this one is confirmed. But which person go open eye? Charles, you go invest your money for this league. I want to see it. No disrespect. I love Nigeria, my country. I say I pledge in Nigeria, my country. That's the word, right? But who want investing money for this kind? Charles, please, while you're reminiscing, while you're thinking, let me go more and talk about this. Now, beyond structural changes, Tinubu reforms should also aim to bring home Nigerian players who have made their mark in Europe, encouraging more players to follow suit. And this could bring back the passion and crowd support that once characterized domestic football. Do I want to comment on the president talk about this? I will give him credit on the part that he did something the other time. I think he cleared the bill. He cleared the bill. He saved us from one place. Now, Charles, I wonder why we are having the president of a nation come involved in sports. There are people paid for this job. So if you don't have capable hands, the president must get involved. Now, let's talk about a culture of mediocrity. MPFL, our league today. The delay in sponsorship payment and other long-standing issues compound the league's problem. The MPFL continued decline under current management shows a failure of leadership and vision, I must say. The same issue persists because the root causes, such as mismanagement, lack of accountability, are not being addressed. Fundamental problems. Players are delusioned because their salaries, bonuses, allowances are delayed for months. Now, while the highest paid earns around 1 million per month, the MPFL set a minimum wage of 150 million naira for players, but clubs are cutting corners and defaulting in payments. It's worse in the second-tier national league, that NLO, where players rarely, please, I know the talk and say I just carry the talk. I played in the MPFL as well. I know the story. Kora United was a place. Now, where players rarely receive above the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira. In addition to financial struggles, players' welfare is abysmal. Team travel hours, some days on poor roads to away matches. Now, let's talk about the shocking disparities. I'll bring you this one. And I must give reference to my man, right? A conversation, I would love to get that post so you see. A conversation by German-based Nigerian journalist Omar Okatuba. That's my man. You can see that on the screen. You can see that, right? He had a conversation with a Nigerian footballer in Afghanistan. No disrespect. Anytime I hear Afghanistan, what you go come my mind now? War. War. I go on rock, come off for studio. Now, relayed by the journalist in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, indicates the magnitude of the task that the president has set for himself in that promise. Now, let's talk about this. The player said he earned about 250,000 naira per month in the Nigerian Premier Football League until he moved to Afghanistan, where he now earns around 2,000 euros. This could not be confirmed. With free accommodation and meals, the story highlights the gulf between the two countries in compensation and underscores the financial state of football in Nigeria. Why is there so much money in football in Afghanistan and not in Nigeria? Charles, is what we're talking about. This sport needs to deep root in farms. We need to get it right. Let's consider another case. Benjamin Tanimu, the player who moved from Tanzania side. So when Benjamin made a move to from Bendel Insurance, yes, Tanimu, I'm going to have an interview one of the days. Benjamin made a move to Ihefu, and I was reminiscing on the show here. I was asking myself, which kind of player I go come up for MPFL to go Tanzania long? The player moved to Tanzania side from Bendel Insurance and was sold to Crawley Town. As I talked to you, that when I passed the collect for almost 862,000.
It's quite a lot you've elaborated about right now. First of all, I think the president, I know the president is smart. He's a smart individual. So I know that when he says he wants to develop sports, he definitely has some people in place to do that. In the presence of the chairman of the NFF,
right,
the LMC, the league management club sides and all that, the people that manage the clubs and all that. So there are structures in place.
Right.
Let's get that right. The only reason the president will come out to say such is because he loves the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think he believes and he knows that football unites everybody together,
true,
whichever
right.
tribe or wherever you are.
Regardless.
So again, it comes back again to the same issue of leadership. You asked me a question: if I was an investor, will I invest in the NFF? Will I invest in the NFF? Will I invest in
the league body, the MPFL, right?
Yeah, the MPFL, and I will tell you no, because there is no guarantee that when I put in my funds in this place, I will get any return in terms of. In fact, I don't even trust the leadership of the people I'm giving my money to. So, because again, it boils down to leadership. Look at the way our leagues is being run. Hence, you were comparing what a certain player earned when he was in Bendel and then in Afghanistan. The only difference between both is that there is a structure in place. Institutions are made to work. I mean, you talked about sponsorship. I remember a time Glow sponsored our league at a certain point, but it stopped because there was no transparency in the dealings of the NFF when they received such amounts of money. Because a big brand like Glow, which is a Nigerian indigenous company, was about to invest in our football. But, I mean, the leadership did not show themselves worthy, did not show themselves credible. And again, so everything boils down to leadership. Leadership and institutions. So it's basically, the president has goodwill, which is nice. It's very admirable. But he has people in place that are supposed to do the job. So they should get up to work, and rather than waiting for accolades from the police or from anybody around, they should just get up and do the rightful thing.
Okay, so let's really talk about this one now. Chelsea defender Tosin Adarabioyo has become a key talking point as the October international window approaches. Reports in the local media suggest that Tosin Adarabioyo, born in England, has decided to commit his international future to Nigeria, potentially strengthening the Super Eagles defense. Just maybe. Now, while no official statement has been made by either Adara Bioyo or Austin Guavo, the possibility of the Premier League defender joining the Super Eagles has generated considerable excitement. Adara Bioyo's decision to represent Nigeria over England marks a significant moment, given his spell involvement with England's youth team. His last appearance for the Young Lions was in 2015, and the centre-back has not been called up since then. Now, sparkling speculations about the future of the international player, the Nigerian coaching staff currently evaluating defensive options across Europe is keen to consider to bolster their backline with this young talent. The current defensive pairing of William Ekong and Simi Ajayi, while experience, we could say experience, has raised concerns due to their combined age of 61 and declining pace. Adara Bioyo is 26, and it could provide a perfect blend of youth experience and top-line football knowledge to complement the existing Super Eagles setup. Now, his Premier League background and familiarity with current Nigerian international, the likes of Ola Aina, Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, and Demola Lookman, would also make his transition into the national team smoother. Adara Bioyo, his versatility and ball-playing skills have been widely praised, and his potential inclusion could help solidify Nigerian defense as they push to qualify for the 2025 AFCON in Morocco. That's Marrakech. Would you love to have Adara Bioyo in the setup?
Well, when I hear such news like this, I don't really like them.
Why?
Because, I mean, again, we were talking about our league. Why aren't they looking at the league for defensive pairings? Why do we have to always look abroad? So if I'm not playing in the MPFL, if I'm not playing in the NNL, I have no hope of playing in the national side. Why? Who even does these selections? Do we always have to go abroad to look for players? And then we want our league to be marketable. We want our leagues to function well. If Philemon were here, he would not have liked the same news as well too.
Yeah, I know.
Who is Tosin? Where did we even know him from? What? His relationship with Calvin Bassey and the other guys doesn't make any difference. It doesn't. It doesn't make any difference from the guy who plays in Eimba, who plays in Rivers United. Why aren't we looking there? Eimba is one of our best.
They're currently the only Nigerian club side in the African competition.
Yeah. I mean, they've done so well for themselves. Why aren't we looking there for players? Why do we always have to look abroad all the time? And then again, we talk about, that's why I keep saying it, leadership is very important.
Yeah.
And someone who's right thinking. For heaven's sake, when this guy comes, if you invite him now, he comes like a superstar. We give him the red carpet ovation. But the guy who plays in the NNL or the NPFL, he's not giving the red carpet ovation. He's not even being paid. This guy will be paid in dollars. Ours will be paid in naira. Come on.
So you can tell me that we don't respect our own.
We don't value what we have.
The league.
We don't value what we have in our league. Some people will be okay with this guy coming in rather than go and pick someone from the MPFL.
So it sounds like there's no hope. It sounds like there's no hope.
There is no hope for this guy. Listen, that is why you will see players leave the shores of Nigeria, the MPFL and the NNL, and go and play places like Afghanistan.
We see players leave
Afghanistan,
to our neighboring South Benin Republic, nationalize there and play.
To Egypt, Morocco, that's where they'll go to.
So
Tosin doesn't know. I don't believe that Tosin ever played football in Nigeria.
So they now
I don't believe Tosin has ever even watched a Nigerian game before.
They now see living abroad as the only way out.
You just tend to pick everybody from abroad because, I don't know. I don't want to say certain things because we're live on here, and those are my personal opinions though.
Yeah.
But I would tone them down and just allow things play out. Because honestly, it is a Southeast, but every Nigerian who just shows up in the international space, we want to get him to play for Nigeria.
When it gets to this point, Charles, I must hold you down because I know you already sounded one way before you go. I understand. I'll hold you on that. Sorry, I don't know you're getting offended about this. Let's talk about something else that can brighten your. Just maybe, I'm just saying. The Carabao Cup game played yesterday. I tell you,
come on.
He's happy now. You can see. I told you because I know. See, not be say we talk and say we're not true. See, I can say it all the time, and I can say every time. I love Nigeria. Nigeria will be good starts from you. I love Nigeria. You see, it does not sound. The last time I was talking and I heard they said that they find me for Abuja. They said I carry NFF matter for head like antenna. They said I carry her for head like dandruff. They said I carry her for head like gele. I will not rest until they put things in place. I would not even be wrong. I would. It's good you carry me for something good. Maybe not saying that nobody will carry me now because I know how they talk, which makes sense. You know, but it's good you are carried, you're taken away for something good than they put you, which I know they like now, this thing. You see, you see that thing? Government bango, I don't like them. Like handcuff now for area now, government bango, they call them. Government bango, I don't like them. So I like to say it right. But let's talk about the Carabao Cup. And Nathan, Ethan, they call him, Waneri, opened his goal account for Arsenal with the Braves in the Gunners 5-1 win against Bolton Wanderers in the round 3 of the Carabao Cup on Wednesday night. Raheem Sterling also got his first goal for Arsenal and also providing an assist in a comfortable win. Declan Rice gave Arsenal the lead in the 16th minute before Waneri doubled the lead on the 37th minute of Sterling assist. Now, in the 49th minute of that very game, Waneri got his second. This time, Declan Rice laid a pass for the academy product. Then, Bolton pulled a goal back through Aaron Collins on the 53rd minute, but Sterling made it 4-1. And it was great to see. The 64th minute, with 13 minutes left, substitute Kai Havertz, big player, you can say, he found the net. He completed the route by adding the 50th goal. In another Carabao Clash champions or Carabao Cup played, Liverpool also thrashed West Ham 5-1 at Anfield. Diogo Jota, Godi Gakpo got 2 goals each, while Mohamed Salah, my best African player, scored 1 goal. And that's what it is. Does this sing a song for you? Raheem Sterling back. He wants to play football. That's the reason he ran away from Chelsea. He loved Chelsea. He wanted to stay. Yeah. But the competition, it's not about the competition. It's about Enzo Maresca coming to tell him after a good preseason, saying, bros, I'm not sure if you follow for my plan. It's fine on that club.
Yeah. It was good to see football, that level yesterday. Arsenal doing what they do best. I mean, give opportunities to the new players, right, and the fringe players. One area was exciting to see. Yeah. Declan Rice doing his job as he usually does. Scoring is actually interesting to see Declan Rice score. Then Kai Havertz did the same thing. Liverpool, I wasn't expecting anything less, Right. I was expecting them to win the game. 5-1 was a rout, if you ask me. Yeah. I mean, and I begin to imagine, I begin to think, like, which manager is going to get fired first? Is it Ten Hag or Lopetegui? Who's going to get fired first? Okay. Let me talk about this Arsenal because we cannot talk past Arsenal before we go on a break and give you other sporting stories. We have the Naomi Osaka talk. She's teaming up with Serena Williams, former coach. And we also have another story emanating the world of sports away from football. Encouraging made former world #1 Annie Els advises Rory McIlroy to adopt Tiger Woods style and technique. But before we go into that other part of it, Charles, Arsenal, there's no Rodri anymore. Some like to call him in full. Rodrigo is not available, ruled out of the season. He is an integral part of Pep squad. Yeah. Anytime there's no Rodri, be like say, Man City not a 0 again. Now, I recall, I've spoken to a lot of people, including Anosike. You don't know the political man that comes on the show. People don't know Anosike knows sports as well. And he said to me, he's a City fan. He said to me, the beginning of the season, he said to me, Kizike, can I tell you? I said, what are you saying, sir? He said, Arsenal would win this league. And I said, how? Oh, come on. Hold on. Charles, hold on. I'm not saying they will win it, but with the omission of Rodri in that team, you don't think this sounds a good message? Why would you say because one player, one individual...
I have the answer to that question.
One individual is not in a certain team. Yeah. And the other team would win the league because of that certain player.
I have answers to your question. I can have the answer to your question.
However, right. One tree doesn't make a forest.
I know.
And if you know Pep very well, Pep is a serial.
He would definitely find a way. We know.
He is sweating his ass out right now looking for a player to replace that guy.
Can I tell you something? Yeah. It's worth talking about because Arsenal have always been very close. 2 seasons ago and now, wait, Charles. Rodri, every time Rodri is not around, you know how he works. I know Pep would not want to get...
Another nickname for Arsenal is second to none. They always call...
What do you mean? So is this near success syndrome?
It is. I mean, that is what has crippled Tottenham for so many years. I mean, if you look at Tottenham, Arsenal and Chelsea in London, who's the most successful club in London?
Okay, we want to give that a chance.
Oh, come on, leave that talk.
Okay, Charles, thank you so much. I have to let you go here. Thank you so much for coming around on the show.
Yeah, it's a
keeping
pleasure.
It cool. Yes, thank you so much. Well, I'm happy you were, at least you two, not too, because if I give you a chance, if they give someone like you be analyst, if they bring you for radio or for TV, they hold you. But see, as I sit down for you, they match your break because they leave you, don't move. Go. I saw the way you were frowning. When NFF matter, I don't like them.
It's a
Is
pleasure.
it I don't like NFF or what?
It's not like I don't like them. Incompetence and laziness just doesn't make sense.
You don't do. Thank you.
Doesn't make
All right,
sense.
thank you so much, Charles. We need to go on a quick break. When we return, the show continues. Keep watching Voice of the People TV. We are doing the job for the Sports Republic show, and hopefully the guys, let me even say this, the guys for the evening will keep you cool, talk about Jerry and the likes of James and David E. We'll take you through for all of the fourth round, the Carabao Cup, everything football will be basically more later on for the evening. Please don't miss out with them. But we're going on a quick break. I'll remain Kizike. I'll be back shortly. Just stay with us, please. In the market, but I have to take a deep breath. Right, Charles, that guy, he's a Madrid fan. Oh. Charles, you might not understand what I'm saying. If you've been following the show well, you will understand. Those kind of guests, you gotta they treat them. You treat them special, right? But you have to tell them the word. Please be civil. You know, there's always a way around it. Sometimes I feel so bad when I see ladies who walk down the road. Beautiful ladies, right? They walk down the road and one car, they stop you, PPP, won't follow you talk. There's something I know. Growing up, my mom told me about political, they say, what they call it, something that has to do with insult, but in a very cool way. Oh, polite insult is the word. There's a polite insult, you know. You don't need to scream. You don't need to say, you don't need to, all those, you don't need to do them. There's a way out around it. So you just find a way around it to tell the man that I'm so sorry, sir, with all due respect, I'm not interested. The man will respect you more. Not be saying you want to, no, you don't do that. So people like Charles, if you get there, you go hold them tight. Make them not go talk past, because it's actually what's being upset. The Super Eagles talk. Let's talk about other sports, please. Tennis. Naomi Osaka in the story. 4-time major champion Naomi Osaka said on Wednesday she didn't want to have regrets after confirming she has teamed up with Serena Williams' renowned former coach Patrick Mouratoglou. Former world number one, Osaka, now ranked 73 in the world, defeated Lucia Brosetti of Italy 6-3, 6-2 in the first round of the WTA 1000 China Open, with the Frenchman Mouratoglou in her players' box. Now, the 26-year-old Naomi Osaka split from Belgian coach Wim Fisetti this month, and she attempts to return to the form that propelled her to top of the women's game. Japan Osaka said she felt like she needed a change and described Mouratoglou, who is best known as Williams' long-term former coach, as a big personality, and that's cool. Now, let me quote Naomi Osaka, the Japanese lady I respect a lot. She said, "I like the way he coaches. I think it's going to be really interesting." She said this in Beijing after setting up a second-round meeting with 21st seed Yulia Putintseva of Kazakhstan. She said, "I think I'm at the stage in my life and I don't want to have regrets. I would rather pull the trigger on something and I don't want to say fall to the ground. But I feel like I really need to learn as much as possible in this stage of my career." Patrick seemed like the guy with the guess, the information, all I wanted to learn from. He's not wrong. Now, Fisetti, had to stay coaching Osaka from 2019 to the summer of 2022. And again, when they reunited last year as Osaka launched her return to tennis after the birth of her daughter. Now, Chai in July 2023, that's the name. Chai, don't surprise her name now. You know what her name they be now? Chai, that's the name. Now, Osaka has struggled to put together victories since she returned to the WTA tour in January. She bowed out of the second round on the recent US Open, and then her best results since returning to action have been 2 quarter-final appearances. Naomi Osaka, who won the China Open back in 2019, admitted being a little wary initially about Mouratoglou, given the 54-year-old long and successful association with the legendary Serena Williams. Osaka said, "I think the fact that he was Serena's coach, for me, made me want to avoid him just because he's a big name. Then I met him, talked to him, worked with him on the court. He absolutely is a really good coach. I am really glad that is taking this project on as well as every other thing. So it's a good one for Naomi Osaka. I must say congratulations to her. You know, when you talk about all these sports, when you talk about this sport, you will know that some people cannot be taken off. Naomi Osaka is a big name now. Serena Williams is a big name. Even the sister Venus is a big name. The unborn kids, we talk about them. That's why I'm liking what's happening in the world of tennis for the male category. We know Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, big names, right? Djokovic, living legends. But are you seeing the turnaround now? That's a Daniel Medvedev. That is a Jannik Sinner. Carlos Alcaraz. These guys are making me happy. We don't want to see the young ones beneath. Let the young grow now. And I'm not to name that time, the young shall grow. Now, wrapping up the show quickly, let's tell you more. Encouraging mates, former world number one Emmy Els advises Rory McIlroy to adopt Tiger Woods style technique. Let's talk about golf. They say the golf world is the big guy's game. And Frank Fagbo actually looks golfy today. Yeah, Rory McIlroy golfing woes continues as the Northern Irish major drought extends into its 11th year. The former world number one has endured another disappointing season, failing to secure any top titles in 2024. Rory McIlroy's frustration were particularly evident at the US Open earlier this year. A final day collapse at the penthouse number 2 saw him squander a promising position, ultimately gifting the title to Bryson DeChambeau. Despite recent upturn in form, including a second-place finish behind Billy Horschel at the PGA Championship in Surrey, concerns persist about Rory McIlroy's ability to recapture his best form. We want to see that happen. Now, any else? A former world number one advised Rory McIlroy on how to improve his game. Speaking to Golf Report, Elle suggested that Rory McIlroy should focus on refining his technique with short irons. He said he has a hit softer cut. He has a hit softer cut shot with his short irons and get absolute control. That's the word. The South African drew parallel with Tiger Woods' approach, noting that there is a reason Tiger Woods played his best with the soft cut. Rory McIlroy, what's the way forward? What's next for Rory McIlroy? I like him, I know. See, these ones are people that you begin to talk about in PGA. When you see them, you go say yes. Rory McIlroy, you know the Live Golf move, you know those things now, we know the story. But I want to see him come back to the court again. I want to see him do the ball J move. I want to see him do all those runs and all of this gameplay. I like him a lot. But you can watch the 15-time major champion Tiger Woods' career and you can study out something and be like a project topic. But this is all we can give on the show. Thank you so much for keeping it cool with us. Thank you so much for making it a day with us right here on the show. You already know we come again. Tomorrow would be a very bigger time on the show. Can I even tell you tomorrow would not be this way because I cannot come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I speak English. They don't want me born English. I like to take it back to the street where I was made. The street made me, actually. I'm proud of the street, you know. So I take it back to the street and we do that sports in a vernacular language, and that's the Pidgin version of the show. It will be strictly Pidgin. You don't hear us speak English. We take it back. You know, that's the kind of show that Africa should export, I must say. But thank you so much to the guys behind the scene for keeping it cool. Every one of you are amazing people, and also you watching from home. I don't even know where you're watching from, but then thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's do this again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Nigerian time. But don't forget, I am your host, the only sportsman out there without a football jersey. You could say the only player without a jersey, and you already know my name is Kizzy K. Great show. I'm sure you enjoyed that. I'll see you tomorrow. See you.